Okay, guys, so it is bright and early in the morning, and we are going to finish trying out the Crafter's Companion Sentiment Banner Stamps and Dies. Today's special from HSN. Of course, it was today's special on the 29th. Funny enough, when I went to link it in the video I made last night with affiliate links, those what I have in the description box. That means I would make a small commission if you were purchasing items to those links. The auto ship option was available again, so interesting. And it still said it was the today's special because HSN's doing this thing where like they'll put out like the whole week's worth of today's specials and you can pick them up or something on certain things, or once it's launched they keep it there. I don't know what they're doing, but so it was still there, and I was like, oh. And I just mentioned in the video that that part wasn't available. Or maybe some people canceled their order and they had more. I don't know that they normally do that with auto ship though. Like put them back on like when they do with other items at the end of the night when people cancel and they regroup and they know what they have left. They'll put it back on the site. So I don't know. But either way, yesterday's video, I'll link in the description box, was basically just an unboxing and first impressions because everyone was curious if they are actually photopolymer, like Sarah said, or if they were acrylic. And as you saw in the video, probably, if you've seen that video, again, I'll link it there, they are acrylic. And the video came out really late last night, and there's over 1,000 views, so thank you guys so much for watching them. And I know I wish I could have gotten out earlier, but UPS delivered when they did, and I still have to make the video and render it and all that editing and everything else, so it took a little while. But so we were talking about photopolymer and acrylic and things like that and the differences, and basically photopolymer is just a higher quality stamp. I did pull out some really old ones for my collections because I want to show you a little bit of the difference about that, and then what acrylic stamps are. And acrylic is usually softer, they don't accept the ink as well, things like that. They're just lower quality and they cost less, right, to produce. And Die Press is very honest about that as far as they use acrylic stamps to keep their costs low so that the price of these kits are lower, right, or whatever. And that's why they use them. And then other companies use higher, always photopolymer like Tonic, and their prices are usually higher on their items and stuff like that. And it just depends, obviously their die sets, it's because they have tons of dies. Like I just have this one still in front of me right here, the designer's choice. And I mean, there are a ton of dies on here, right, for $19.99. So that's like one of their deals. But that's the one I picked up myself not too long ago. And I just actually released the video this morning. But so there's lots of different, companies do this or that. So people are saying, like with Sarah having said they were photopolymer. She said that several times. She said that during the Verse Compendium stamp sets. I think both of them, the iterations that came out. But by the second time, I already knew that wasn't true because the other ones were just acrylic. And I even mentioned, I'm like, I could have sworn she said that they were photopolymer. Anyway, because she did. But they are acrylic. And so I already talked about that in the video. I guess you guys can discuss amongst yourselves what you think about that, but like she knows the difference. There's no way you run a company, a paper crafting company, and say photopolymer, especially because she said, which is so important because that's how you get a crisp stamp. It's like, yeah, we know why it's so important. So photopolymer, again, higher quality. Usually a lot of companies make those in-house, where like acrylic stamps are made like in China or wherever they make them, but usually photopolymer are made in-house because of the process, right? And they make them there a lot of times. Like oh gosh, I was just gonna name a few companies, but to the top of my head, like Art Impressions, or anyway, some companies make them there in their warehouses or whatever, factories. I don't know what you want to call them. But I did pull out some old stamps that I just want to share with you because everything's made of different materials, and then we'll get to actually stamping and cutting some of these. But just real quick, because in my mind, I always remember Technique Tuesday being one of the very first companies I used to get photopolymer stamps from. And this set is old, and like I haven't even used it, but I just pulled out a little cute set. It must have been like in a kit whenever I went to like one of the expos or something. So this one is from 2007. So I mean that's pretty old. We got 13, 15 years. And I don't know if you can see, it's starting to yellow right here. And that might be because maybe in the drawer I have it in, they're like clear tub drawer kind of things, it might be facing the sun a little bit, like the sun might come in. But that's what they used to do. So I have another set here from Stampendous that's pretty old, right? This Franz one. I don't know, this one has a date. I thought it said 2000, but yeah, it doesn't really have a date. But see how yellow they are? Ridiculously yellow. But these are photopolymer. But I'm showing you this because the older photopolymer would do this real badly. I have some like the Stamps of Life, really older sets, like when she first started up, because I had joined her club when she was like at #1. Actually, it was a couple in, but then I got the other ones. and they would start yellowing, but the newer ones don't, right? Or haven't. Not just because they're newer, but like the ones that are right after, like the ones that already started yellowing a long, long, long time ago. So they're old themselves and they're not yellow. And that's just how it was, right? But, you know, this is even all kind of ripped up. But the stamp still works really well. Again, this is just really old. I don't even know why I'm showing you this, but there they are. So really cute little stamps. And that's another way you actually know something is photopolymer from back in the day, because generally the acrylic ones don't yellow. But anyway, so that's that. And then here's like this set. This one's also super old. I think this one is the one that says it's 2009. And what's kind of cute about this one, it's from Hero Arts. A lot of the boutique stamp companies, not Hero Arts, I wouldn't say it's a boutique one, but like Simon Says Stamps or like Lawn Fawn or whatever, all these kind of cutesy ones, they're usually photopolymer because that's what they do, and you know, you're paying for that, right? So this is made from premium photopolymer with an extra deep etch for true impressions, tear resistant, latex and phthalate free, non-toxic and biodegradable, which I thought was weird, made in the USA. I'm like, biodegradable? I mean, obviously you want to keep stamping it. I don't know what they mean. Maybe once it's in landfill, it's biodegradable. Like, I don't want this falling apart, you know? But I just thought that was kind of funny. But these are also older, and they smell... This one is the kind that smells a little bit like coconut, so I don't know. But they always, you know, come off the carrier just nicely, where acrylic, after a while, they will stick to the carrier sheet real bad. That's so interesting. Yeah, this smells a little bit like coconut. I know the ones from Impression Obsession also smell like coconut. So, you know, photopolymer is the next, you know, big thing after cling stamps kind of went by the wayside because of the red rubber. It's hard to see through them, but red rubber stamps are always going to stamp better, or like the gray ones, whatever, as long as they're that rubber, like the initial kind you used to use, always give you a great impression. And because they're really firm, right? So photopolymer is also really firm, where acrylic has a little squish to it. Now, having said that, this is a very firm acrylic in the sets, and I wish Sarah would just said that and people would just be like, oh, okay. But, you know, she says one thing, and so for us, we're like, oh, photopolymer, well, that's even a better, you know, deal. So then you buy it. You get them home, and they're not. They're acrylic. So somebody had asked about if this folder was the same as the Year of Craft type folder. I mean, it's not the same size, but yeah, it's a very much the same style. So here's my Year of Craft, and it's all filled up. Oh, so I guess that's done. I really enjoyed the Year of Craft. That was a really fun sub box. So hopefully they'll do something like that again. I don't know. So that's that, and obviously this folder is larger. So what we're gonna do is just open this up. So I did pull up the video in the previous the clip where at least I saw one time that Sarah had said that they were photopolymer, and what's so funny is that that's when she's talking about the auto ships, and I think that's why some people have said, oh no, this is a acrylic and the auto ships are photopolymer. It's like, no, none of it is photopolymer. They're all acrylic. But right above her head, it had like the wording that HSN had, and it said there, like, clear acrylic stamps, blah, blah, blah. And somebody had left a comment about that this morning. Like, what's so funny is when you showed that she was saying that they're photopolymer, like, clear as day. Well, she said a different word. Right above her head, it said right there that they were acrylic, and I'm like, yeah, well, I noticed that too when I went to edit it. I was like, oh, that's so funny. Okay, so we're going to use the paper that comes in this kit and the dies, which are in this part. Cute little box. I mean, I don't know. I honestly just got rid of all the Year of Craft boxes. I put them all together in the one set, which hurts my heart because I like seeing all the boxes, but at the same time, I just don't have space for all that anymore, guys. So I took a page from your guys' books. A lot of you guys tell me, like, oh, I already took mine out, and I just separate everything out, like stencils, stamps, you know, paper, and then put them all in the one kit, which almost all the paper fits, but I did that. So these are the dies. I measured them yesterday, but I'll quickly measure them again here. 8 3/4 basically by 5 and just a little smaller than 5 3/4 on the other side. So we have the two different sets. They're going to go in here when we're done, and I don't think I'm going to put them in here for now because what's the point, but let's see. They go in nicely, nice and easy, and then you zip it up if you want. That's a really close zip. Wow. And then they cling to the magnetic mat that's behind it. So that's really good because otherwise they'd be kind of like doing this kind of thing and maybe it'll end up tearing after a while. So I do like that they thought of that and have that sturdy magnet holding it down. Yeah, so then we have that. I was going to say, I think they're double sided, but when I saw the white side, I remember in the other review I did for these that it doesn't cling on this side. Like there's no magnetic nothing on this side, so we're not going to do that. So let me open it up. In the other video I had stamped out just these And maybe I'll cut them out just so we can see it's that smaller portion that's way in the back. So if you want to see a full unboxing of this, I'll link, like I said, the video there. But I basically stamped this set that's down here. That's the 'Tis the Season. And so, let's see. I do like the birthdays ones. So what I'm going to do is take this one off of here. And yeah, it is one full big stamp. I suppose if you're not a huge fan, I don't see why you wouldn't want to cut them all at once. But if you want to cut this up, I suppose you could, because I mean, there's plenty. And I mean, you can feel it. It's acrylic. It doesn't smell like anything. I did show yesterday that they, well, not show, because it's tactile, right? I mean, at this point, they do feel firmer than other acrylics, but it's still acrylic. It still is going to have some give where like a photopolymer stamper like this one that Maida gave me yesterday. Let's open this up. PF stamps. You can tell just by looking at it that it's photopolymer, first of all. I don't know if you can see the way it's kind of stippled and the way it looks. You can tell. And then it says there, high quality photopolymer. Oh, it smells so good. This one, I don't know why I always feel like it smells like coconut. This one smells like coconut plus the mix of like the Bic pens. It's just so nice. But anyway, and then they're sticky. I mean, like, I don't know if it'll stick to my finger, but that's what happens with photopolymer, because they have a, when they create them, when they make them, it has a dispersion layer that you need to wipe off with some alcohol, or just wash it off, or scrub it off in your stamp pad, or stamp it a few times and it'll come off. But generally I don't even take the step to do that. I always mention you should do that, and then I don't. So, okay, so anyway, so this is photopolymer. I mean, this is good stuff right here. Ah, it smells so good. And it's firm. It's firmer, you know. It's more closer to what you would consider the firmness that you might get from a red rubber stamp, right? So I'm going to take this one off, and I'm going to stamp this in one way, and then I'm going to do like the just because kind of this, like just to say, because I do like having those kind of sentiments around. And warm wish, so very blessed, so very thankful, a bouquet of good wishes. This one's cute, but I'm not going to take this one off. I'm going to try to do this one like I showed you guys yesterday, where I ink it up and then take the paper to it. So just a couple different ways in case you don't have a really big stamping platform, because I don't even think these are typically the size that you would put on a stamp press. Okay. Oh, all right. Well, I'm going to bump my light and everything. I'll get the other die in just a minute. So first what we're going to do is stamp, and I think what I'll do is I'll use the papers from here. I know it's hard to see. What did I do with that stamp? Oh. Well, let's go for it first here. And I don't know that any of these colors are, maybe the pink. That's the color I like to use quite often. Again, in the unboxing, you'll see that there's purple in there and all these other colors. Okay, I know it's hard to see here, so let me try to put something behind here that will... Oh, this. Oh, what happened here? That's weird. Okay. Big, huge white workspace, kind of. So these papers will fit right on top like that, right? So what I'm trying to show you is that you don't even have to remove it from this if you don't want, and then just stamp from there. I'm going to do this one. These have all these cute little, what's it called? Like scroll work. Like when you use the die has like a little scroll shape or something like that, and that's what these weird little lines are. But I already have one of those ready. I'll probably cut. Let me see. Actually, I take it back. Since this one doesn't have like all those scrolls and stuff, I will do this one that way, and we'll do this one today. On this one. So you have the two different die shapes, right? Because they're different. So I'll ink this guy up. And yesterday I used VersaFine. I love VersaFine, and I should have linked it. I'm sorry, in the description box. I'll do it today. I'll try to remember, and I'll link it from the other video too. What I'm going to do is try to be careful in over inking it, because I'm going to use my hand. And I say that, but you know, you still get in there. I'm going to use my hand to stamp this. So no... Well, I might use a tool, but no stamping tool to begin with. Again, acrylic, so I'm going to go over both, and I'm going to get right to it because the ink is going to want to move away from that. And I'm just going to set this down. And of course, you have to be very careful with this. And all I'm doing is not pushing too hard. Again, acrylic, you don't want to push too hard anyway because it'll kind of warp a little bit. And then I'm going to bring my Stampendous, Stampendous is a company, Stampendable, over, and just to make sure I'm pretty much hitting every area. And then I'm just going to take a peek and see that I stamped it pretty well. And that's that. You know, again, I didn't put a lot of pressure. Obviously I got the ink there that's going to cut away anyway. Some of these areas, I think they're going to be okay. And of course you could wipe it away, but again, with acrylic, it starts, what's the word? Where did I put that? It starts beating up. That's the problem with acrylic. So VersaFine, really great stuff and really clingy, so I'm using that. I already gave some tips yesterday on acrylic stamps if you're not sure what to do. Oh, I should spray some stamp cleaner on this, not just water. This is a little chamois, whatever, from Tonic. Sorry guys, that sounds horrible. Okay, so I'm just cleaning it up really quick. So there's that one. And then on this other one we will use a stamp press. Let me give you a closer look at this guy though while we're here. You know, a little model. Again, I can't stamp it again because I just used my hand. There's no way I'm lining that up again. That one's, not the greatest. But we'll use a stamping press and then we'll see what we think. Still very clear. I mean, you can read it. Obviously, if you're looking really, really close, so you're going to have some beading or whatever because it's acrylic. Okay. Let me grab my stamp press. I'll grab things here. I have a really, really big Crafter's Companion set. I had made a review on them a long time ago, and I hardly ever use them. There's sometimes when I feel like they're needed, but obviously it's usually when I have a really big stamp set. This is the 8-inch one. I did pick up the magnetic base separately. It might have been a bundle, but they're sold separately is what I'm trying to say, normally. Then I have like the 6-inch one and like the smaller one. And then I have this thing. Now if I use this thing, that's fine, but there's no way I'm going to stamp it and then be able to line it up again. So even though this is the stamping mat that supposedly goes with this, you know, if let's say I didn't get it right and I see that, unless I don't move it, but you have to because you have to ink it again, it's just not going to stamp in the same place again as well as if you're using this. So I'm going to use this. We'll see if we need it. And then a big old stamp. So I'm just going to sit this right here just to pick it up. I could just place it on this first, but I'm going to put it up there, pick it up, and then of course making sure there are not too many air bubbles because that will be a problem as it won't let you stamp in that area. The bubble just makes it so it's like impossible to really get it on there. And this time let's just make them white. So I'm going to take a white piece of paper from in here. I mentioned this is like maybe 65-pound paper is what it feels like. I don't even know if this is in the right spot now, so let me check. I kind of put it right in the center as long as... Okay, we gotta go this way a little bit. Bring it down a little more this way. Of course, I could have just put the stamp on top of the paper and then picked up the stamp, but I didn't do that. Now did I? Okay. Let's put that there. Let's put this guy here, and let's just make sure that, as I say, this one might not stamp that great because that is right there next to it, but we will see. Okay, so this is just another way of stamping it. Of course, you need a big guy. I'm looking at all my presses, like this stamp press and my Weir memory keepers. They're too small. They are too small. And then I'll ink this up again. And hopefully it will just get a nice image the first time. So the best inks, in my opinion, are pigment inks, maybe hybrid inks, but usually pigment inks because they're just a little, what's the word? Like they just have a little more oomph to them than a water-based ink. Water-based inks will want to repel real bad, so you just have to stamp it a few times. I'm just trying to see if I can show you. No, it looks pretty good as far as the coverage right now. I don't see anything that looks too crazy. You know what I mean by like repelling real bad. So there's that. And then I'm going to press this down. I'm still going to use this. I don't think it's going to work that well. And I feel like my magnets are going to make it so that it's not going to stamp like right there. Again, I'm just... yeah, the magnet totally didn't let me stamp this here or that up in the corner. I can try again, like to really push in there. Yeah, okay, there's that. And then let me get in here. That one's not going to do it, so that's fine. So there we go. I did miss a couple again because the stamp, and look at that, it didn't even line up very well. That's what my review on this was pretty much that it's not really precision. It's not. Because even if you wiggle it a little bit, you're going to be off. Okay, well let me clean this one off and then we'll get to die cutting. Okay, so I grabbed both dies. And all you're going to do is line them up. So at first I was like, I don't really like seeing which one's which, but these obviously look the shape of this. I mean, you don't have anything in here that's that big, so it's obviously this die. On top of that, this one has 3 X's where this one has 4 X's. So that's another thing to keep in mind so that when you go to stamp, you know, you're good. Now, this is the other thing that's kind of weird. Obviously, these two aren't going to work out for me because of the way, you know, maybe next time I'll use some washi tape so it's flatter and I can still stamp really well. You got to put them on the papers that they cut. Really think about where you're putting it, because if you had stamped them more over here or more over here, you're going to end up with some that aren't cutting quite right. But I mean, you have to be way off for that to happen, right? So I'm going to check this out over here in front of me, guys. Sorry, because I feel like so weird. You know, it's funny because if I get the X on the top in the right spot, that next one can be way off, even though I think it's straight. Look, and then you keep moving and keep moving it. And you think, oh, now this one's going to get off center, but no. It's just, you know, you have to get it right there. And then this last X, which did not stamp too great. So I have to get this closer to me. Now there goes that one, there goes that one. That looks pretty good. I think that looks pretty great. This top one doesn't look like it's right where it needs to be, maybe right there. Okay. Now I'm not going to touch it because I'm going to grab some of this. I'm probably going to run this through my tangerine, to be honest, just because it has so much extra space because it's huge. But let me grab some plates and show you what this might work with. I'm going to put stickiness like here. I really want this to hold. I don't want it to shift that much, so I'm putting more than I would normally put. And then since these two are messed up anyway, I'm just going to go like across there. Generally I put things on the edge, but right now I don't want this to move at all, so again. Let's see, Empress plates. These are standard Empress plates. That'll cut it for you right down here. I don't know if you can see. Goes right to the edge. So standard Empress plates, obviously elongated Empress plates will do it. Not the mini. These are Gemini plates, the regular ones. So Gemini Junior plates will do it. And you guys probably like, okay. Spellbinders plates will do it. Actually, I can pop it through here too, if I wanted to, but I'm still going to use the tangerine just so I get a good cut right now and not deal with maybe it's just on the edge or whatever, right? But those all, obviously you saw, they will be edge to edge, go through your machine. Yeah, let me line this one up and I'll run this one through at the same time. Well, that's it. Well, actually on the Gemini, I mean, well, maybe the larger, the regular Gemini, but on the tangerine, I probably could get them both at the same time. And then when we cut, we're going to have like 100 things ready to go. No, not 100, but hey, that one was much easier to line up. The 3 just kind of went. This is what I was talking about, this little scroll work. You see those little lines, they make more sense once they're cut. Really cute. It's a great idea. I just don't know why people don't just say it from the very beginning. They're very high quality acrylic, you know, deeply etched, or I don't know if they're deeply etched, but thick acrylic. It is thick because obviously it's thick for a reason, because if this starts warping or doing something funny, then you're not going to be able to line things up later, so it has to be thick, like this, a slab, you know, that's really nice. So I see why. Again, I use VersaFine ink. VersaFine ink stays wet for a long time. If I wanted to put some embossing powder on this, we could have just done that. You know, do them in colors that you do use regularly or whatever. Okay, I'm going to run this through the tangerine, but I'll be right back. Open this up in case it looks awesome when you first do it. Honestly, I probably want to use a stamping tool next time. I'm just going to use my hand like I did because it's just easier. But look at that. Looks pretty good. Happy birthday. You don't look a day over fabulous. Cute that some of them have those little brackets or like little places. And again, the kit, the secondary kit comes with that really thin ribbon. Now this one got a little double stamp again because I had to push it down. Like all these guys look kind of messed up. I honestly probably shouldn't even tried because they were going to be messed up anyway. I should have just left it alone. And then the ones that are further away from that because I didn't press on them again look really perfect. You know, up here when I did that double stamping to try to get that other piece, like it made this one ghost a little bit too. Not too bad, but enough. And then the R is missing on that one. But that's on me, and I love the brackets on those. How cute. So I'll keep popping those out, but let's run this one through right quick. I guess I can do it right here with you guys. And then this one's gonna have a ton. And then in the back of the book, of course, is that space little bag that you can hold all your die cut pieces ready to go for some other time. I had mentioned that maybe in the other video I would do a card, but I don't know that I'm gonna do a card in this video because it's long enough as it is. Sorry. I can sense that it's taking me a little bit longer than I expected because we went on a walk down memory lane with photopolymer and acrylic and all that other stuff. Okay, let me put that here. Like I told you, the VersaFine, I don't know if you can see, there's still some ink. It's kind of on the tape. It doesn't really matter, but they're in there because VersaFine takes so long to dry. Look at that. Now, I do appreciate that because it is one big, huge die, one big, huge slab, and it still is precision right on there, right? I mean, that's pretty good. Better than if, well, I would make an aperture normally to get that kind of accuracy, so that's really, really great. Let's look at some of the other ones that have that same kind of thing. Thankful for you. Today I'm thankful. Right? I mean, that's pretty good. Like, I see that's right on as much as I would expect. Look at this one. This one's very fancy with the whole thing going. And again, right on there. So, I mean, for me, I enjoy this. I think it's great. I think they should have just not misrepresented that it was photopolymer, because otherwise you know what you're getting and you're like, yay, but now people are like, oh, again, you know, like, I can't believe they did that. So, you know, why mess with bad feelings? This one has a little overstamping there. Again, we can clean that off before you stamp, but you have to kind of work quickly because you don't want the ink to start repelling. So, you know, for me, it was just, okay, I'd rather just ink it and get it going. But let me pop out the rest of the other ones and I'll be right back. So in 2 passes, look at all these things. These 2 I'm not even going to try because they're obviously not great. What I was going to mention is, okay, so we have these and they're really pretty, and I love how there's like all these different, I can get a little bit closer, but there's so many, I kind of want to get them all in the frame there. Like this one, happy birthday to you, and it's a heart. I didn't even notice it was a heart shape. That's cute, you know. Hope your day is filled with extra icing. Again, I think that's the one that we already talked about. With love on your birthday. This one's a little fancier. Now these I've noticed are a little bit off. Like, I don't know. I guess it's because like the Y has to have some room and the W, it just seems like it's more up higher than I would like. But you can also just run these through and cut them and have your pieces and then stamp whatever other stamp sets you might have. I don't know if I have something here that would work. I don't, you know, you and me equals awesome, right? And that probably would work like in one of these guys or this guy or this one, you know, it just depends on which one fits like this. So you can always just stamp or cut these guys out, a whole bunch of them, and then just stamp on them with other sentiments you might have, or drop shadows. Just run this through like black paper or gold paper or whatever paper you like, and now you have all these little background pieces that you would just drop shadows. So you have this, you have another one in black or something to go behind it or below it, or however you want to drop shadows. So I think that's a really nice option too. So I will probably, like I said, follow up next time I make a card. I'll try and use these for the sentiment. But for now, that's all I know. And, you know, birthdays are for celebrating. Have a great day. Really lovely. It's so funny. I feel like the ones that have this extra stuff are more like right on. But again, these came from the set that had 4 X's and this only had the 3 X's, and you line them up. So maybe this has a little more accuracy to where these guys stand. But I mean, just like a smidgen more. I mean, like this one. And that has to do with how I lined it up too, possibly, right? May your day be full with joy. I mean, that's really nice. Oh, count your blessings. I'm bummed. I'm going to do this one again because I really like the R is kind of messed up, but I like that sentiment. So there's no such thing as too many candles, you know, with the love and hugs. So yeah, really sweet. I was going to cut this one out too, so maybe I'll do that and I'll just have some images. But this one is just a small piece, like the 2 Christmas ones in the back. Sorry, I itched my head and I hit my light. So anyway, with this one, all you're going to do is line up the 2 X's. And this is just a scrap paper I did yesterday just to show you. And again, just tape those down. And I'm trying to make sure I have it pretty much where I want. Oh, let me take a piece of tape from over here. And maybe I'll just put it across here just to hold on. and then run that through, and I'll have all these Christmassy bits. All right, guys. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Hopefully, showed you pretty much what it takes, and then to do it a couple different ways if you don't have a really big stamping press. I have a feeling people probably didn't buy it if they don't have a big stamping press, but you can always just do it by hand, like I showed here. And I'll probably run this through the Spellbinders machine, just because this little section, and get that going. All right, guys. I'll see you at the next one. Bye now.